Welcome one all, my name is Tawess, and today we are taking a stab at the Tikonov Lancers, a very old unit with long ties to, well, all the way back to the Terran days. And beyond that, not really much to say about it. It is, like all the other units in Battletech, storied and full of controversy and bad people. But I mean, it's a military unit, so what you expect. Alright, we're going to start off with a sort of burgundy color, and I realized there are two things that are not in my painting range right now, and that is a good burgundy and a good reddish purple. Which is ironic, because that is the two paints we need for this. But I mixed up my own using a mix of a red and a purple with some touch of blue into it to make sure that it stays cool. And then slap on a very drab looking greenish. Not much more to say about it. It's a base coat. You know how these works these days. I know it looks kind of brown on the screen, but you know, it's what it is. Also, I realized I forgot to hit the record button when I washed this one. It's a basic non-oil wash. Nothing more to do about it. It's just slathered on. Again, this is one of these paint jobs. You don't need to go too much into it. There's not too much in it per se at this stage. It's the same as always. Doing some simple basic washing over a base coat. Now, as I say, here comes the real crazy purple mix we have. This is a mix of a purple, a pink, a dash of the previous mentioned red burgundy color, and it still didn't come out good. I don't know what to do. I don't have the paints I need, and this time paints were not agreeing with me. We had arguments, me and the paints, and they were not listening in the slightest. So, after some finagling and blending by mixing a lot of layers of this purplish red thing, we actually got to a level where it's okay, but still, I'm not happy. You can see here, it's way too bright. It's contrasting. It's fighting the red. It's not a good one. I tell you that, this is not a good one at all. But you just do what you do. You hunker down and trust the process. In this case, the process was to repeatedly apply layers and blend them together. And in the end, we actually end up with something that looks good in my mind. You know, good, of course, is in this case very subjective. But as you can see, we just apply some brighter, some darker. We mix them differently. This is why a wet palette is really good to have, because it gives you a lot more working time with the paints than if you had a dry palette. I guess a cold palette could work, but anyway. You know how it is. So yeah, we're going to fix that. There was a lot of finagling, fighting the paints. The greens, on the other hand, were really cooperative in this case. And I basically took this sort of army fatigues green, and had a touch of bone color, this creamy white to it to bring it down a notch, and I just applied that to all the panels. It was surprisingly easy, considering how much of a fight I had with the purple. This is how it is. I'm gonna have to go back and look through the Army Painter paint range to see if I missed some paint somewhere or misplaced some paint somewhere, because I must have a proper purple somewhere. Or maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe there isn't a proper purple anywhere. Anyway, it's not important. This is basically just panel painting. And the Raven, which is a Raven, the stealthiest of mechs, it's very good for this because it's very long, much happening on the top of it, and there are nice panel lines. Painting panels, very easy. Getting it to look good, on the other hand, there is no saving that thing. It is ugly as sin. Yep, there I said it. Not a popular opinion, but I consider Raven to be ugly as sin. And since it is a electronic warfare mech, it's also armed to the level of a small infantry jeep. It has no weapons on it at all. And, I mean, in the books it's good. In the books, in the lore, electronic warfare is good. Anywhere else, it's pretty much junk. I mean, actually, no. MechWarrior Online made it work fairly well too, actually, to be honest. But yeah, not a big fan of the Raven. But yeah, just hit those panels like there's no tomorrow. I'm pretty sure there's tomorrow, so no worries about that one. And then you can, if you like, do my favorite thing, which is edge highlighting. You don't need to. Again, I ran across this terminology today. I can't remember who actually posted it, but it was about painting to your happy standards. If you are happy with where your end product is, then that is good enough. You do not need to try to aim for being a golden demon painter if you do not want to. You do you is good enough. You do not need to try to hit the lofty goals of painting like a golden demon winner. Because if that is not your goal and you try to do it anyway, you're just going to end up very, very disappointed and angry with yourself, with the world. Don't do that. You have enough going on as it is. Your hobby is supposed to be fun. So just paint to a standard that you're happy with. And if you're not happy with the end result, then you can try to improve. But also understand that each time you apply the brush to a model, you get better. It might not feel like it, but you do get better. And I believe in you. I believe you can become better. Now, what I'm doing here is basically painting the weapon silver. Again, you've seen me do this before. There is no mystery to it. You just need to take it slow. And trust your hands. Because I can't trust my eyes anymore. Those are going. They're gonna be gone. But my hands seem to still know what they're doing. So, trust them, if nothing else. Yeah. With that, we are pretty much closing in on the end. I'm going to apply a bit of wash and go here, basically. First off, it's the stripes. They have stripes for some reason. According to the Unit Color Compendium, this is also harkening back to an old military tradition with Russian units apparently having this sort of stripe. But it's a common military theme, denoting rank and status and seniority with a stripe down the pants. Most famous one in modern times is probably the Corellian blood stripe of Han Solo from Star Wars. But yeah, in this case, just steady grip, a steady hand, slow and shallow movements. You can see when the line appears, and then you can continue the same motion, just move the model up a little bit. Just making sure that you have a relaxed hand when you do this. As you can see, gently, thinly. Also, make sure your paint here is fairly moist, not runny, but it needs to be very cooperative, or you will have streakiness. I'm here currently using Gorgon Hide, which is a bluish white. It's technically a grey, I think, a very light grey. But it works perfectly as a white in these surroundings, because it's not white, but it's white enough. And we wrap up with actually painting the window. And in this case, just a quick mix of orange and yellow contrast paint. Speed paints, actually, in this case. And, yep. That is pretty much it. We are coming up on the glory, the beauty, the runway. And, yeah, nothing more to say about that. Come up next time, we are going to do a random colors challenge. Until next time, stay safe, be kind, and do play fair. Bye!